From New York, it's That Kevin Show.
See, I knew it.
Come on, Kev. What's a few classified documents between friends?
I told you all the time. I knew it. I knew he had some too.
Here he is, That Kevin McCullough.
Welcome back to Times Square. It's That Kevin Show, and I am so proud to have my next guest back with me because I actually got to kind of introduce her to the Salem family back in the day, but now she's not only part of the network, her podcast is seen at Salem Podcast Network, but she's also part of the Salem News Channel every weekend. And if you watch on Saturday night, I'm her lead-in. So it's like on that release, we go from one show to the other, and it's so much fun to have Laura Trump, Chairman Laura Trump of the RNC, back with us. Hello, Laura.
Hello, great to be with you.
You got it. I just bring greetings on behalf of the whole Salem family. We're so thrilled to have you. And it's been fun to watch your show on the weekends. I actually am kind of a fan of the Salem News Channel. We do stuff that nobody else is doing, and we're actually getting real information into people's lives.
Imagine that.
Perish the thought.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, congratulations on your chairmanship. Let me play Hugh Hewitt for a second. Rapid fire you. How's fundraising?
Yeah. Fundraising is great. Obviously, whenever I came in as co-chair and Michael Watley came in as the chairman, we were in a pretty tough spot. People were taking out, the RNC was taking out lines of credit. It wasn't going great. People, I think, were a little.
That was happening?
Okay, yes, it wasn't great. So really a bit of a steep hill initially to climb, but I think whenever people understood, who maybe for a long time hadn't trusted that their money, if they donated it to the RNC, would go to the causes they cared about. People heard about a lot of expenses at the RNC that perhaps they didn't think were going to further the mission of seeing Donald Trump back in the White House, of course, expanding our lead in the House, taking back the Senate. I don't know that they wanted to give their money. And honestly, it's been about a 180-degree change, if I can say so just very bluntly, because, you look right now at the month of April, $76 million brought in, the month of March, $100 million brought in. We had right out of the gate a huge fundraiser in Palm Beach, which I'm sure a lot of people heard about. $50.5 million in one single night. It is the largest fundraising event in the history of politics. And Donald Trump, of course, is the draw, but I think people are now feeling like they can give back to the RNC. And it's great because we are one entity. The RNC and the Trump campaign have, Kevin, fully merged. And having done this now for my third election, and I can't even believe I can say that.
That's right.
It really is it makes all the difference. And it's a huge, huge thing. I can't overstate how important I think that is, because we now don't have to have multiple people doing one job. We have one person doing one job. We've come through the vendors, the contracts. We're making sure that the money donated goes to the highest and best use. And of course, as I said, we are very focused on the mission at hand to make sure that we get Donald Trump back in that White House. And then we have all the down ballot races that, of course, are important as well, because it's great to get the president in there, but he has to have the support of Congress in order to really get big things done.
Well, in reality,
and so we're doing great.
In reality, you need that all the way through the state races and the school boards and everything else. Like, we need to be taking America back on every level. And I'm excited because as a working journalist in the 2020 cycle, I got mixed messages. I mean, I found personally that the campaign was so easy to work with and, so much more functional in terms of how it operated. And oftentimes the RNC they almost seemed at odds with the campaign, and we can't afford that. We got to have everybody on one team swinging for the fences. Laura, let me ask you about the thing that you alluded to when you were with me the last time, but you weren't the chairman yet, so you didn't have any, pull. But now you do, and that is the term ballot harvesting. To quote you on your last appearance here, you said, "Every state where it's legal, we will do it better than the Democrats." How's that strategy working? What kind of implementation has taken place? What's going on? Give us the update.
Yeah, and I meant every single word of that, and that is exactly what will happen. Obviously, we can't fully implement that plan until voting starts, which happens in September, but we're prepping to be there. Right now, we're doing huge work registering voters. That's a very big step in that direction. And we can now, as of a very recent decision, legally partner in a way that we haven't been able to in the past with these outside grassroots organizations, people like the Scott Presslers of the world. And that's powerful because they have such a great grasp on the ground situation in many different areas where it may be harder from, a 10,000 foot perspective to know who's in each community and how to reach out to them and how to get people engaged. But these different organizations really have their finger on the pulse of that. And we can partner with them in a lot of different ways and in a bigger way in 2024 than we ever have been able to before. And so we're going to utilize them as we head towards those early voting days, as we head towards every single place where it is legal to ballot harvest. That is how we are going to accomplish that. We're going to have a huge footprint all across this country with the ballot harvesting, but also with our election integrity team. And I don't think I can overstate how important that particular part of what we are doing and what we've been focused on will be in this election. We can never go back and repeat the mistakes and really the atrocity of the 2020 election cycle. It was horrific. You have tens of millions of people right now who really don't know still what happened that election. They never got their questions answered, and people were just told kind of move on. We're not going to talk about this. We're going to go forward. Well, we are moving on, and we are focusing on 2024 and never repeating any of the mistakes made. And so we have a huge election integrity team. If anyone out there, by the way, wants to be part of our team, protectthevote.com is the website. You can go there. You can sign up to either be a poll watcher, a poll worker, which we can now with the RNC train you to go and physically work in these polling locations. If you're an attorney and you want to work on part of our team, we are going to have attorneys, Kevin, spread out across the country in every major polling location so that we are not just waiting weeks on end to respond to things that we might see. We can strike at a moment's notice while voting is happening in early voting, during election day voting. This is going to be a vital part of what is going to need to happen this election cycle to ensure that people trust our electoral process, to ensure victory on November 5th. We have our eye on everything. And we are also sending a message out there to everyone. If you are a person who is considering cheating in this election, we are looking out for you. We will find you. We will prosecute you to the full extent of the law. It is not worth it.
That is well said. And, if you take the election of Glenn Youngkin in Virginia in the off year right after the last presidential election, the shenanigans started up again in that one county. And because they had attorneys, they got to the courthouse, they got it stopped, and voting continued, and they counted the votes, and the outcome was determined. That's what we have to have, particularly in the swing states. We're speaking with Laura Trump. If you're joining me by radio, yes, you recognize her voice. If you're watching us on TV, of course, you know who it is. We've got a little bit more to discuss, but I want to say that the courts have now had a chance since 2020 to get some of the laws revoked that had been put out there, on a moment's notice because COVID. And I think those are going to help as well. Coming right back from New York, she's Laura Trump. I'm Kevin McCullough. Stay there.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.